That concludes the testimony of Dylan Wall, the driver of the vehicle. And inside that vehicle, he had 3 other passengers, 2 of which were killed in that car crash. The trooper speeding down Highway 27. Let's bring in criminal defense attorney John Day to talk about this case. John, thanks for being with us today, listening to this sad case out of Georgia. The driver of the vehicle was on the stand being cross-examined, asking things about smoking cigars. Was anyone in the car smoking? Asking what he could recall. He didn't recall a lot. Tough testimony from him.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It is tough. The defense in this case has to paint a picture of some kind of contribution that this driver had to the accident, whether it was inattention or was there somebody sitting in a seat that obscured his view. It's a tough call for the defense, because they've got to convince the jury that even if the officer at the time was speeding, even if he was going way over the speed limit, there was a contribution from the other driver, and that would negate any criminal charge for the reckless homicide.
And that's what defense counsel really has to show, John, because when you take a look at the charge, vehicular homicide, they have to show that the trooper, the prosecution has to show that the trooper was negligent in his actions, and he was speeding. There's no dispute about that, going 90 miles per hour. That's what the prosecutor is saying. And so when you take a look at the charge, well, you can establish that pretty clearly, but was there a contribution from the other side? Did they also contribute to the terrible car crash?
Right. Well, in this case, the defense lawyer, in his opening, he did a sort of an interesting visual thing. He brought out a loaf of bread. He said he used to work in a bakery, and he said the inspectors at the bakery had to inspect the bread and the process very carefully. And he said, as jurors, that's what you have to do in this case. There are going to be flaws in the investigation. There are going to be reasons that there's reasonable doubt. So while the defense has a tough road here, they do have some areas that they can make some inroads on. They can talk to the jury about maybe the trooper was going too fast, but if the driver of the other car hadn't been distracted, or if there hadn't been something obscuring the view, the accident wouldn't have happened. So the defense has to put the burden back on the trooper on the driver of the other car, at the same time acknowledging the tragedy of it. So it's kind of a fine line they have to walk, not getting the jury ticked off at them, but at the same time raising the idea that there's reasonable doubt here, and that the trooper was not the only cause of the accident, therefore he can't be found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
John, thank you so much for pointing that out for us. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to continue in Georgia on this case that we've been watching. You're watching Court TV, your front row seat to justice. Still with us, criminal defense attorney John Day. Okay, John, that's no joke. We have seen that time and time again in court. The judge says, I'm going to hold you in contempt, and if you violate this, I will do so. I've seen it happen. Yeah,
she's given one warning, which is very nice of her. A lot of judges wouldn't even do that. But, the judge has the ability and the requirement to control what goes on inside the courtroom. And if it's been clear that no, posting on social media is going to be allowed and someone violated that, she was very calm and collected when she made this statement. But you could tell that she wasn't going to let that happen again, and that's the sign of a judge who's got control of her courtroom.
Exactly. All right, let's get you back inside that courtroom. The state has called their very next witness. Let's go in and see who that is.